All right. Hey, guys. Welcome to our show, John and Jackie Open Love 101. And our guests today are David and Alex. They're from Desirous Parties and Dirty Vibes, which are parties and hotel takeovers, really both here and also in Mexico, right?
Yes, sir.
And we're really happy to have you guys on today. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having us.
Let's start with David. I think you started this company how long ago?
2004.
Oh, wow. And tell us about that. Why did you, what prompted you to start having parties?
I started throwing parties on the small side, probably about 2000. And around 2002, everybody would always walk up and says, "When's your next party?" So I created ournextparty.com.
Oh, wow.
So when it was just a simple one flyer website, you'd log in, see where the next event was, and that was it. And then in 2004, I formed DesirousParties.com or DesirousParty.com, and just kind of started with no intent to become a lifestyle website. The intent was just to, put more content as far as my events that are coming up. And before you knew it, we had a membership site, we had multiple parties, and it just started growing and growing. And I think the original version we see now was put out in 2013.
Okay. And why did you were you in the lifestyle? How'd you get involved in the lifestyle if you were?
Yeah, used to travel. This is kind of how I got into the business. Used to travel with a large group of people, and they'd always like, "Hey, where are you going next? Where are you going next?" So one year, we went to the old brick and mortar travel agent, and we tired of going to Cancun. We'll go somewhere different. And the guy goes, "Hey, it's a great deal." And I still remember 7 nights, 8 days, airfares included, Jamaica for $1,100. You can't get that deal if you wanted to now, but we go, and where he sent us was Hedonism 2. And he simply told us it's the ultimate party. And that was it. He gives you the magazine off the magazine rack, and you look at it, and it's all inclusive, and 7 Mile Beach and the grill, and like, yes. And we get there, and hot, humid, waiting in line, about 50 people, and you kind of see through to the beach, and there's people walking around naked. And I go up to the front desk, and I'm like, "Ma'am, they're naked." And I still remember, she goes, "Yeah, man, welcome to the zoo." And I go, "The zoo?" And she goes, "Yeah." And pointing to the same magazine rack, to the same magazine I grabbed in Houston, Texas, except this time the magazine didn't have all the portions of the magazine taken out. And I saw, and we were there over July 4th, 1997, which used to be the largest Hedo 2 takeover. So, you had every variation of the lifestyle there on one resort. And that's how I was, if you will, baptized into the lifestyle. Found out really quick if you're open-minded and not open-minded. And, so it was unique.
And when you were you there with somebody?
Yeah, we went with friends.
And were you open-minded, or were you a little standoffish?
Oh yeah, if you've been to Hedo, you got the prude side and the nude side.
Yeah.
So after the first day, I was like, I'm over here on the nude side, so I'm already out naked out in the water, floating on the raft, and they have those big party pontoons out there, and we're just drinking and having a great time. So I was like, yeah, I like this.
And you went with your friends. Were they surprised where you were?
Oh yeah, nobody knew. Nobody knew. We were like, had no idea. And it was crazy. It's like you're walking down the sidewalk and there's batteries everywhere for sale. Back in those, all the vibrators and sex toys ran on D-cells. And they're out there, got a shopping mall, because they're wearing, batteries are going dead. So they're selling more batteries. And I'm just walking around like, holy shit, man, I ain't thought about any of this. So yeah, country boy goes to Jamaica, and here we are. And I was like, I like the vibe. It was friendliest people, open-minded. There was nobody really judging you, and everybody was just laid back, cool. And I was like, okay, I like this.
That's a really cool story. And then you came back, and then did you find parties here in Houston, or?
Yeah, there was something, but it was nothing of the caliber of upscale, fun, sexy. It was just kind of like, I don't know, 97 was more of the knock 3 times on the door, and secret door opens. It was just nothing of a club, atmosphere with high energy,
right,
sexy themes. So we went back the following year, and then bounced over to Cancun.
You went back to Hedo?
Oh yeah, next year, 1998, brought more people. So then 99, we went back to Cancun, the old Blue Bay Village.
No, I
And
never heard of that.
Blue Bay Village is now Temptation.
Really?
Yeah, it was the prior. I think there's still Blue Bay and Puerto Vallarta,
Okay.
but kind of went there and then went back to Hito 3, which is no longer in existence in 2000,
Right.
and just every year, and just started throwing. It was just simply started as group trips. Then I was like, well, there's no parties of this. Let's do something like this, and we started doing Ritz Cabaret. They let us do parties up on their VIP second floor.
I mean, is this something that you had done prior to that, is throw your own parties?
Nope.
That's so interesting that this would open up a window for you to entertain.
I was taught the bar business. Well, everybody, I think most people know, my prior career was law enforcement. I'm retired 11 years ago. I used to work a club on Sunday night, and it was 2,000 people would show up. So it was one in, one out. And I became friends with the owner. So he basically taught me the security side of the business, the bar side of the business, the DJ, every form of the business I was taught over the 4 years. So when I got found Hito 2 and started throwing some events, I just kind of threw that knowledge into my, what I'm doing now. Built on it.
Interesting.
But there was no manual or pamphlet. It was all trial by error. Just find the vibe, find the right theme, and listen to your customer base and grow it.
And Alex, how about you? When did you get in the lifestyle, and how'd that come about?
About 10 years ago. I wish I had a really cool story. Mine's less cool. My wife and I met. She was dating this girl who had a husband, and I was dating the girl's, or seeing the girl's sister. And so we met each other, and the sister went away, and the wife and my wife, who was the girlfriend in this throuple, I guess, and she and I got close, and it just kind of was natural. So it was just easy for us. My wife will tell you the slightly inappropriate but funny saying. She goes, "We both knew we were both sluts, so why not do it together?" So that's our story is short.
No, but that's really cool. That's how you met essentially another couple that was in the lifestyle,
Right.
and that's kind of showed you the way.
Yeah, still good friends of us. Still come on all the trips and at all the parties.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh,
absolutely.
very cool.
Yeah.
So had you ever seen anything like that before?
I mean, we all went, we went to college, and there was that, but
Yeah.
it wasn't a defined thing. It was just hey, we all got drunk and this is what happened. That was the first time we started out going to that. There used to be a bar in Houston that was lifestyle friendly, but there was no playrooms it was not an on-site bar. They had a bar, liquor and everything there. And we used to go there, and it was kind of the vanilla version of the lifestyle there. And
Were
kind
you
of broke us
going
in.
there before?
No. They
Okay,
introduced
so
us.
after.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So.
And you were like, "Oh, this is interesting," or
Yeah, I mean, just like my wife called it, it's something that we were both kind of apt for. And so why not try it? I remember the first time, it was so funny because I remember the first time we ever did anything, and I was so nervous. And I remember that, one thing's leading to the other. And I just remember sitting there thinking, am I really all right with this? Am I really okay with this? But, it's funny how you loosen up as time goes on, and you're like, wow, now I like this, and also let's try this, and this. It's so funny how it progresses.
It
Yeah.
is. We hear that. Jack and I, we coach couples through Open Love 101, and
Yeah.
we see couples all the time pushing their boundaries. Essentially, they'll have a set of boundaries, things that are not. The most common one is no kissing allowed with
Right.
anyone else, and it seems like that's the first boundary that they end up going past. It's kind of hard to do stuff with that. Like, you're having sex, but you can't kiss. Are you kidding me? I mean, I understand. It's fine if it makes you comfortable to get to that point, but at some point.
So I'll tell you, funny enough, speaking of boundaries, I had this really weird insecurity. And I said to myself that sex can be sex, but we can't have it be a relationship. And so the way that we did this, when we first started meeting couples, I had a rule, no names. I know that sounds completely ridiculous, but somebody would stick their hand out and say, "Hi, and I say, whoa, we're attracted to you. You're attracted to us. No names." We got kind of I've always been that wacky guy, so we kind of got a weird reputation because of it, but
The no name
eventually
couple.
the no name couple, right? Exactly. But eventually, obviously, that changes, and you become friends with people in lifestyle, and you realize that that real lifestyle people really aren't out to steal somebody from each other. It's the exact opposite of that. But not knowing about the lifestyle, it's what your kind of fear is at first, and it's amazing how it's the exact opposite of that in reality.
Yeah.
So,
It really
pretty
is.
cool.
It really is the exact opposite of that.
Yeah.
But that's really a cool boundary that you had set initially.
And by the way, it lasted for an incredibly long time. It was probably a year. It really was a long time.
Well, and it's just proof that sometimes you need that.
Right.
And
exactly.
that your partner was receptive to that.
Yep.
So that's cool too. And you obviously felt the same way that Dave did about the people.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what keeps you coming back into it. Not only is it great for your relationship, but it's that camaraderie.
Yeah.
And the way people treat each other and treat their relationships. I mean, that's really telling. So how did the two of you then get connected?
Oh gosh, can I just give a little
Sure.
tidbit on this one? So I used to be what I'm wearing now, less a cowboy hat, not my ball cap. But I used to always wear the same thing to every party. I would wear jeans, boots, a button-down shirt, and a blazer and a cowboy hat. And
That's how we know you.
That's
by the
how
way.
we-
yeah, I know, right?
Yeah, that's how we know
And
you.
every time, all the time, my wife would ask me, she'd say, "What are you going to wear for Halloween?" And I would say, "I'm going to be a well-dressed cowboy." And that was my limits. And then one day we were at one of David's parties, and it was, God, I don't even remember. I think it was Halloween, and we walked up, and I told my wife, I said, "I'm going to wear something stupid because guys should do it too." So I went and I found the stupidest outfit I could possibly find. It wasn't much. And I think I wore a cape or something, and like a thong or something crazy. And I walked up and oh, that's right. I was covered in glitter. And I walk up to the door, and David's standing by the door like this and watching people as they walk in, answering any questions, saying hello. And I walk up, and we were already friendly. And he just goes, head down, closed his eyes, shook his head no. And I realized I had succeeded.
Yeah,
And that
succeeded.
was the beginning of really our friendship, but then a lot more from there.
Yeah, and it just got crazier from there.
So we just got to glitter up. Is that what you're saying?
But it wasn't a little bit of glitter. We're talking about the entire body. He
Oh, yeah.
probably had glitter on him a month later.
Oh yeah,
Oh.
definitely.
It was like head to toe.
Huh. Yeah, we don't really like glitter parties.
No,
The club staff
for the
doesn't like
club
them because
reasons, right? Yeah.
it's there next year too. We're actually replacing carpet in New Orleans because of a party last year. We can't get the glitter off. So
We walked into Purgatory this year, and we always have the same room at Purgatory. And so we walked in for Halloween. For Purgatory, and the glitter that was there from Halloween was still in certain spots. We found it in certain spots, in the counters and in corners and stuff like that. Still, the glitter's there, and they cleaned that room as best as anybody could. But that glitter will never leave.
for sure. And then go ahead, David.
I was gonna say the gift that keeps on giving.
Man,
Yeah.
how long have you guys been partners? And
So we've been working together for.
They started up
Years.
host couples
Mhm.
for me, but the only one of the few host couples, that reliable, that's sticking around. I have some OGs that are coming back around now, but Alex in 7-8 years,
Yeah, 8 or
and
8 or 9.
then December of 2020, we joined together under Dirty Vibes.
okay,
So, I do all the production. Jen does the answering the phone and text on the travel, and he reads the contracts and manages all that fun stuff.
oh, cool. And how's that project coming along?
It's going really good.
We are like the three of us are like a married couple. It's great. We all have our own opinions, which is the best part because we all have different point of views. We all have different spots in the lifestyle and different spots in life, but we all also have, when you put the three of us together, we have a lot of times the view of another couple. So you take each of one of our perspectives and you put them all together. It's almost like you've got both sides of what the couple are thinking, plus what they're thinking as far as how much they want to party versus how much they want to play versus how much they want music versus how much they want, all the other aspects of lifestyle kind of all in one. That on a business side of things is probably hard to do with two people, as you guys know. I'm sure, getting advice from other people is important, but it's sometimes hard because everybody has their own perspective.
Yeah,
So
for sure.
between the three of us, Jen talks to every single guest when they book something, and David's talking to them as far as music and as far as production, hearing the DJ's point of views and all that stuff. And then I'm watching the finances a lot of times and seeing if it makes sense. But then also, I'm a little bit outgoing, and so also talking to the guests and hearing the other side of things sometimes. And so between the three of us, our guest interactions plus the individual sides of what we have on the business side of things, we get to kind of think about everything. It's a really amazing setup.
And now, what's the difference between the two products?
Desirous Party is mainly focused on US. If it's in the US, it's Desirous Party. Dirty Vibes is created for the Caribbean or just, out of the country travel. And Desirous Party is the production, it's the mothership, if you will. Dirty Vibes is just supposed to be it is a new signature brand.
Okay. And that's a travel. So you're traveling to the Caribbean. It's a hotel takeover for how many days normally?
4 to 5 usually.
And are they hotel takeovers?
Yeah.
Okay.
Usually, yeah.
Yeah, and we have I think we're going to explore Dirty Vibes in the US for hotel takeovers, and coming up for 2023. So it's an evolving brand. So, but I'm Desirous Party per se. I'm the production, so I'm the production behind Dirty Vibes, and Alex comes in. But at the same time, like say Purgatory, Halloween, New Year's Eve, Alex and Jen come in and bring the Dirty Vibes brand over, and they do the immersion photo experience. They put up the Dirty Vibes travel booth. So the brands are all kind of
Oh,
intertwined.
okay, I see. And what's your next event for Dirty Vibes?
Coming up a couple days.
Yeah.
Halloween.
Well, Dirty
Oh,
Vibes.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I'm
For
sorry.
the travel.
Okay. Yes.
Temptation Caribbean Cruise.
Yep.
Oh, okay.
Which will be in February.
Okay.
That's the next one. And then we're working on some dates for April and then the fall of 2023 as well.
If someone's going on one of these travel events, how can they prepare for one of your events that maybe it's a little different than other events that they would prepare for? And any suggestions on a couple out there? So we want to go, out of the country and do a lifestyle event. So we're choosing between, and not to put them down, because Hito's a great product, right?
Yeah.
But they're choosing between Hito and Dirty Vibes.
I say we always tell them watch the videos, because if there's a big hotel takeover, when we have videographers come in and record it, and we have photographers take pictures, and that's the first thing we tell them is watch the video, see the vibe of the crowd, the entertainment, and find out if you like that. Does that interest you? If you don't like it, then I'm not trying to be rude, but bluntly, it's not for you.
And so go ahead, Dave.
Well, I was just to say, what is that vibe? Like, what are they going to see if they watch that video?
David's fantastic at being at saying that really well. So I'll say it probably without the sugar on the top. When you watch the video, you'll see it's a specific type of music. It's a specific crowd. We are open to anybody to come, but we aren't catering to everyone. We are not doing Google ads. We're not doing Facebook ads. We're not mass marketing for these events. These events are purely word of mouth. They are a select type of person that enjoys this. We're not saying that we're going to interview you and say, can you come or not? But it is a select type of person that wants these parties. Our parties typically will go till 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning, which is different. They are music oriented.
Country Western, is that the?
You know it. No, actually, you probably will. We both enjoy country music, but I would say that you probably never hear Country Western at one of our parties. Different being that we don't usually have playrooms. We are 50-50 party and play, but we want it's an elite experience. It's an experience where we want you to have a high-end nightclub feel, all of the fun of having that high energy party, but then also what you guys decide to do in your own rooms and stuff like that. We encourage, and we're helping you meet other people, and that's what it's all about. But it's in your rooms and stuff like that. And so it's different than going to Hito, where it's going to be something that you can Google, nude beach, and here's Hito, or here's one of these different. This is more of a specific type of event for a specific type of person. And that's why David always said, and my wife and I say it all the time, watch the videos, see if you like it. The music is incredible. Even if you don't think you like it, you actually end up liking it. I remember the first time we ever went to a Desirous party, I'm like, man, I hear this dun 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 the entire time, and by the second time, you're going, I want to. Why did I leave? Why did I go to my room to go get a drink or anything like that? I want to hear it. I
Yeah,
want to. I
yeah.
want that energy, and it brings a certain type of person that takes care of themselves, that has that energy. And I'll say it bluntly, it's pretty people. It's pretty people. They're high energy. Their lifestyle at all stages, though. At all stages. Some people are brand new. Some people have been in for 20 years, and um,
Yeah, I mean, we cater to the crowd who stands out amongst the crowd. And that doesn't mean you have to be in the gym 24/7 and all that. It's just you go the extra, take care of yourself, you dress the look, you have that special. And Desire's Party was created for the new blood in the lifestyle. I mean, we have a lot of, hardcore lifestyle veterans, but I say it, and I think I've told you before, John, kind of like a vampire movie. You want to keep sucking on old blood or you want to suck on new blood? I'm the guy in the business who brings the new blood in. And they may come in as bi-curious females, bisexual females. They may come in soft swap only, and everybody finds their own path. And then I add the music, I add the themes, and on an average, say purgatory, there's 4 different themes. Normally, the girls do 3 or 4 outfit changes. I mean, it's their bucket list trip of the year, whereas Halloween could be, New Year's Eve could be, but it's just we bring so much new people. Like we just recently did a trip to the Caribbean 2 weeks ago,
mhm.
and I would probably say 60% of our crowd was brand new.
Yep,
Oh man, that's
definitely.
great.
And it's again not Google ads, not Facebook ads. It's word of mouth. It's you and Jackie having a great time, and Bob and Susie are over here, and they're kind of wanting to get their feet wet, and you think they're going to like the vibe, so you bring them out.
Hmm.
And as I like to say, the domino effect. It just starts dominoing, and that way you can kind of keep the vibe. You keep the energy high, and every event they go, man, it gets more incredible each time.
Mhm.
Because they went the first time last year, they come back, they're having an even better experience, and now they brought some friends with them.
Yep.
So,
And themes are a big thing for us. It's funny when David, Jen, and I sit down and start thinking about themes. It's crazy. Our goal is to go away from what everybody else is always doing. We all have that same schoolgirl outfit. I even
Mhm.
have a schoolgirl outfit. Another one of those, right?
Yep.
But we all have that same outfit. And don't get me wrong, we love those themes and we all want to do those themes. But sometimes, there's only so many glow parties, so many schoolgirl nights you can have. So, some of our signature themes for some of our nights are things like Illuminati. We did we just did this one. It's a secret society, and the show that went along with it was incredible, and everybody had different versions of that, or things like that where it's just a little bit different than that same usual theme that you might see at that same party you go to all the time. Every time it's just something a little different, and even in the parties that like Purgatory, that the themes have been the same every time. We even try as we bring on new nights like Thursday nights, a Burning Man type of style of theme, and it's incredible to see what people can do with that.
The Purgatory, that's in the summertime normally, is that right?
July.
yes, sir.
Yeah. And that's been an event here in Houston for
We just
years.
did the 17th or 18th year.
Okay.
So, yeah, it started off with one couple coming to me and they said, we want to do a purgatory style event. And they told me, and I was like, all right, I don't know. And they gave me their, boom. So I hosted it. There was their idea, and most craziest outfits I ever saw. Then they're all right, cool. And they moved off and they said, okay, next year y'all can do it. So I did it again the next year, got a little bit bigger. And then it just started with a 1 night party. And then, well, let's see if we can put a pool party. It keeps, and now we're going to be 4 nights.
Yeah, I've noticed that. It's gonna be huge next year.
So it's going to be fun. I mean, I think last year was a little over 1,600 people
That's
came
great.
through between Wednesday and Sunday. And we had, 1,600 people. It was great.
That is great.
Yeah, that's amazing. And it's interesting because it's stuff that's happening. Before I was in the lifestyle, I would have never even known that was even going on. So it's interesting once you realize that. I don't want to say this kind of this behind the scenes or underworld kind of activity
Yeah,
going
yeah.
on, But it is interesting, just the capacity of people that are either in the lifestyle or interested in the lifestyle or interested in your parties. I mean, it's a huge number. It's a huge number of people because that's just one party,
Right.
and you're doing all of these other events as well. So
Yeah, Halloween Erotica Ball is the I guess the godfather, if you will. This is the 19th year, so it started. I was doing it in 02, 03, but under Desirous Party, it's been there every year, and it's gotten bigger. We went from 200 people on the second floor of the Ritz to taking over all of the Ritz every year, putting 1,000 people in there, and then during the pandemic, we had to shift over and do a hotel takeover and spread everybody out, and that's made the event even bigger.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so we're this year's going to set another record. I've never sold out Friday and Saturday, and the hotel's pretty much sold out Friday and Saturday, and we're booking an overflow Sheraton now.
So if someone books for one of these events, what can they expect? I mean, like what does that look like?
Man, it's the ultimate sexiest Halloween party you're gonna go to, and it's couples and single females only. No single males, except there's a few couples bring their I call them boy toys in. They come in, but it's just people come from everywhere. We've the last 3 purgatories, and if Halloween wraps up, we have all 50 states come in, and we have little Canadians. We have some Canadians at Purgatory, and we had South America.
Americans, yeah.
So
couple
it's
British.
yeah, we have some British at Purgatory, and so the word's getting out.
Definitely the word is spread.
It's a different party. What you said earlier is right. The events you don't know unless you know.
Right.
And so one of the best things that happens to these events is we do parties at Colette, in Austin, and these people in Austin had no idea that there's a party right there,
Right.
or even here in Houston, where somebody is newer to the lifestyle, they tried to figure out where to go. Somebody said, "Oh, by the way, let's try Colette," or let's go to a club, and then they come out and they see at one of the events that we do at those clubs, and they say, "Oh crap, I didn't even know this was there." And then next thing that we know, they're at a Purgatory or a Halloween or whatever it may be, and that's how we keep the new blood coming in. But as far as what to expect, it's a different experience. It really is, because um, it's already freeing to know that you can drink or partake in however you want, and your room is right there, so it kind of makes it a little bit easier.
Yeah.
Also, on the lifestyle level, that if maybe you aren't ready for the gangbang room, but you are ready to go and try, 2 couples in one bed in your own room, and so that can happen. We'll see times when you'll see people that will just leave their door open and and see what happens. And
Hito 2 style.
Yeah. Well, or just even being in that sexy vibe, just that environment where you get to kind of dress a little sexier than maybe you would,
Yeah.
in any other situation, and just getting comfortable with that can even be a struggle for some people. So it can cross over a wide range of people.
Yep.
Yeah, many times the new guests come in, and the wife girlfriend's dressing very conservative, and she
Yeah.
gets there and she's like, "Holy geez, I'm overdressed."
It's okay. It's okay.
We usually have a little boutique there, so they can go buy some more risque outfits, or they'll run out and hit some of the erotic stores in Houston and
Yeah.
change.
Yeah. I mean, I even did that when I look back at pictures when I was very first going to Colette with John. I mean, I thought I was dressing pretty risque. It's like, no, I was like collar, sleeves, it's so funny. But to be okay in that environment, that's a big deal,
It's a safe environment.
It is.
We run security at the door. They welcome you in. They're not part of the lifestyle, but they're part of the lifestyle as far as working. They've been with me for 4 or 5 years. They know the guest, so they make them feel comfortable. Come in the hotels that we're at, they love our guests. I mean, they scrap the food menu, change it for our guests. We have IVs in the morning, IVs in the afternoon. We brought a Canna Globe, which is a a cannabis company came in this year on the legal version, I guess all the oils and all that. And it's all stuff that guests ask for. And it sounds silly, but between the DJs catering to the guests, it makes you feel like you're family. And that's the biggest thing is
Right.
family vibes. You know, and you welcome in the new people. It just makes it very, very smooth. So if you
Yeah.
come in nervous, you start seeing all these different amenities and where everybody's treating each other, and you just kind of ease up, you know. And like you said, the girlfriend, wife, who may be dressed down to the sleeves and to the neck, before you know it, she's dropped that and she has nothing but lingerie and stilettos on.
Yeah.
And the husband's having, her boyfriend's having the most amazing time. And then he's like, wow.
Now, for guests, new couples, they've never done anything in the lifestyle, and they're going to come to one of your cruise events or takeover. Any advice or recommendations you can give to someone that's coming for the first time? They've never tried anything in the lifestyle, but they're going to be exposed to people that are in the lifestyle.
I'm going to jump in because I'll tell you my one I tell everybody, and I tell everybody all the time. We have so many people that will come to me and say, or come to my wife and I and say, we're brand new to the lifestyle. We've never done anything yet, and we're going to purgatory. And I'll say, okay, here's your tip. Come on Wednesday night. When it's smaller and it's a little bit more intimate, because you come on Saturday and it's completely overwhelming. There's 1,500 plus people there, and last year 1,700, 1,600 people, and it's overwhelming. And people have been traveling from all over to see, and they meet up with their friends at one time that year. So I always tell people, make the first night of a hotel takeover. Always, I'm sure it goes for all the other people that throw hotel takeovers too. It's just, if you can get in on the smaller part where everybody's just flying in, you have an opportunity to meet people and talk to people. You have a leg up, and you get to see how awesome everybody is, because they're really, really all nice and friendly. But by Saturday, everybody is finally seeing the friends that they all went and met up at that time. So come in when it's a little bit less big. I always say, if you can come to a club event, meet people, say hi. That way you know somebody, and then they're starting introducing to people. Also, and then I'll just give one last thing. One thing that Jen and I did when we first got in the lifestyle was pretty cool. We went and we asked one of the people that we knew, the couple that brought us in, we said, please introduce us to people. We actually went out of our way and said, please introduce us to people, because they knew people. They had already been in the lifestyle. And so we had such a leg up because they went out of their way. They consciously knew these are our friends. They're new. We vouched for them. We like them. Now I'm going to introduce them to other friends. And so we asked them, and then we asked all the other new people we meet, please introduce us to people. And we get to know so many people that way.
That's a great tip.
It is.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, it's about putting yourself out there.
Yeah.
You know, making that initiative.
Don't be the couple that stands in the corner and,
Yeah,
and
so
wait for
nobody
somebody to come up
introduced.
to you.
Yeah, right. Do you talk at all to these people that are new? Do you
I do.
boundaries or anything?
So I get texts, phone calls, and 9 times out of 10 it's the husband calling. My biggest thing that you can understand this as club owners is there's information there. Read the information, because that's a wealth of knowledge. I've been doing this since 2004, so I always have a Q&A up for Halloween, for Purgatory, for New Year's Eve, and it's all questions that I received over the years from first time, guests. Take the time. The forum has a wealth of information, and it'll ease some of your anxiety about coming out for the first time. It's, can I wear this? Can I wear that? Can I do this? What is it, a BYOB? Do we buy drinks? Is there a playroom? All these first time questions are all there. And he laughs because I will sit there for 2 hours and just put everything there for the customer who wants to read. And if not, they call me or text me, and
Yeah.
I'll, answer the question and point them back to the forum again.
Right.
You
Yeah, we
know?
do the same thing. You definitely, new couples ask the same questions as the prior new couples, So it's nice to have a place to send them to really get most of their questions answered. And then when they run into a problem, like, have you ever had couples come out there and one or the other gets jealous about something that's gone on? And
Or they get upset.
Again, I run my same question. I've been running the same security team, same guys for 4 or 5 years. We had I don't want to knock on wood 'cause it's nice in the sound studio, but we have very little drama.
Yeah.
If they do get jealous or they have words, they see the vibe they're in, the environment of the family vibes, and they'll take it back to their room. And I don't want to jinx myself, but 1,600 people at Purgatory, we didn't have the police call one time, and my security team didn't have to tell everybody to count to 10. And so I've been lucky, but yeah, but I can see where it happens. I just think they either leave and go back home, or they go talk quietly in their
Yeah,
room.
it's a rare thing that happens in the club industry as well.
Yeah.
For this kind of club,
Yeah.
I think you see it more in a vanilla nightclub where people get jealous.
yeah.
You know, where there's
Exactly.
problems. So
Yeah, on the business side of things, what David was saying, definitely true. On the, it's funny on the just being in the lifestyle and being a lifestyle person, especially you've probably heard the couples that say, I don't want to be anybody's first. And we were always the opposite. We're like, we don't mind being your first. Because it was funny because my wife and I, in our lifestyle journey, we've been a lot of people's first, and we remember being somebody else's first. And it's always funny. I tell people all the time, I said, you know what, and this is my little tip in lifestyle. I tell people all the time, I say, let him, let her do something with him or with her first, because you can forget. As a man, we can forget easier, I think, than females can a lot of times. So you can forget better than she can. And also, a lot of times we hold back as men, especially as gentlemen and husbands and people that care about their spouse. We hold back because we're wondering what she's thinking. And so I think it goes the other way too. But I think that if you I always tell people that are newer, I say, let her lead the way a little bit and do what she wants. Because if you don't like it, you can go and say, hey, you know what? Let's go think about it or something. It's probably easier than it is sometimes for us. I know sometimes for us guys, when we get going, it's kind of like we're not stopping, we're going, we're all the way. So
I mean, is that true what he just said about, what did you say about the guys?
I said guys can forget better than females can forget.
And then you said something else about holding back. Guys will.
Oh yeah, I mean, once we get going, it's very hard for us to stop, right? It's painful, right?
It's interesting.
No, it's a train on the tracks,
But I do think, in my experience in the club industry and also coaching couples, we find that women a lot of times are afraid to do what their husband has said.
Yeah.
Please do it. Please do it. Please do it. Come on, babe, do it. Do it.
Yeah.
But they're holding back because they're afraid they're
Right.
being tested,
Yeah.
where it's not going to go down the way that their husband is saying it's going to go down.
Yeah.
Agree 100%.
Yeah. So sometimes it takes women a little bit more
Yeah.
to take that step because of their fear of what their husband's going to think,
couldn't
or how
agree
they're going
more.
to be. Women are they're not allowed in our society to put the hash marks on the bedpost. And so when they start doing that kind of thing, there's this pause right there, like, I don't know if I want to be that woman or not. They begin to feel shame and guilt that men don't have to feel.
Right. But imagine imagine in a world where it's the opposite, where you can, where a woman can say, hey, you know what? Let me try this first, and then you tell me how you feel about it. It definitely it makes things so much easier. And so a lot of times, but on the flip side, it's almost taboo sometimes for guys to say, I do want to see this, right? Because
oh yeah,
I want to see you with another man or something like that. And it's hard for guys to say, well, I'm manly, but also I want to see this, and so when you can do that, I think it changes things. But I think that on the jealousy issue, I think it happens everywhere. I just think that at wherever you have a higher end clientele, they are typically, and I'm not saying higher end as far as economic. It's a higher end mentality. It's a higher end in your relationship, and they have a little bit easier of a time communicating with each other,
right.
because they value their spouse
What
or
do
their
you say?
person.
Communication.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got to have communication. And also go back to what you said. Fantasy and reality for some is too different. It's great to have that fantasy in the bedroom and talk about it. But for some people, when that fantasy becomes reality, they're, whoa, time out. And that's where, again, communication.
That's where communication comes to play for sure.
Yeah.
And that definitely is the number one thing we talk about is we get questions sometimes from people. It's like, have you asked your partner how they feel about that? Well, no, I'm asking you. Well, you need to ask your partner, because they're the ones who are going to give you the answer about how they're feeling about the situation.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, it's funny, we were talking to a couple the other day, and she said, I pinched the crap out of him. And I was thinking to myself, if I want Jen to stop, I want my wife to stop, all I got to do is just do this.
Yeah.
And she'll look at me and go, what's up? What's going on?
Yeah.
And she's over here just wrenching the crap out of me, And I'm like, oh, wait. Oh, you wanted me to, oh, okay. Now I understand.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a freight train, right?
Yeah. Communication. And I think this ought to be rule number one. Make no decisions when you're intoxicated.
Absolutely.
Oh,
You
yeah,
know.
for sure.
For sure.
Yeah, that's just totally off topic. But veteran advice.
Well, so have you thrown vanilla parties before? Because I would be interested in what the difference is between
No, I
throwing.
mean, I think every party I have vanillas that come out for the first time,
Okay.
but it's not designated because you have a mixture of, you have new blood coming in, what I call vanillas, but they're a little bit open-minded and they're thinking and trying to find their fantasies. And they come in that way, but a solely vanilla party, no. I went to the Astros game last night around just a bunch of drunk fools in a vanilla type environment. And I was like, tapping Rachel, was like, we got to go. I mean, I'm used to being around, I guess, party veterans, if you will.
So what is that? What is the difference? I mean, what is it about you going to the Astros as opposed to you throwing one of your parties? What are those people like?
It's like she described it last night, amped up on testosterone. It's just they're raw, and they're under the male conquest, if you will, I guess, But in a vanilla club, it's the same way, You can come into one of our parties and you can be dressed as sexy as you want. No other woman's going to look at you and condone you for how you're dressed. She'll probably come up and ask, where you bought that outfit? How do I get that outfit?
Yeah.
At the same time, the husband's boyfriends won't be jealous of the way you're dressed. So you don't have in a vanilla club, you can't walk in and dress that way. You can't jump up on the stage and dress sexy and provocative because other women are going to be judging you, other men. Again, vanilla, single males think because you're acting that way, you're free meat. But so no, I wouldn't host a strictly vanilla party.
And why do you think we're so different? Like,
Open-minded.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I think it's your brand, right? I think it says it right on the cup over here. It's open.
Open love,
It's
101.
open.
Communication.
I mean, people seem supportive. That's the thing.
100%.
Yeah.
They're supportive of each other. They look out for each other. The women, like you said, we're not treating each other as threats.
Right.
And then the men aren't acting all
It's not a
puffed
conquest,
up and
yeah.
conquesting. I
Is
mean,
it-
everybody to me, it seems like everybody wants everybody else to have a great time.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's the truth. And you see women working together too. I see so
Yeah.
many times at some of the events we have. It's a dress themed event where they bring multiple costumes, like you're talking about, and the women are working together. Like they get together before they have a party at their home before the
Yep.
event with maybe 10 couples, and the women are looking at each other's outfits and talking about them and look what I bought and this, and then they have a good time about the outfit and the dressing up, and that's really cool. You definitely don't see that at a vanilla club. And I got my start in the vanilla nightclub business.
Right.
And it was in the mid 90s when it wasn't called EDM back then. It was,
Techno.
they had house music, trance, drum and bass, jungle,
Right.
Whatever you wanted to call it. But we had raves essentially at
Right,
our
yeah.
nightclub. My nightclub was, a dance club with dance music. But then at 4 a.m, we would stop selling booze. And we would have a rave after that. And then, the younger people would line up out the back door and they would just buy water all night long. Those parties based around that music and probably some, probably some drugs at that time too. They seem to me like more like the parties we have at our clubs today where everyone's getting along. That music did something to them. And I think you see it at some other events too, like
Yeah.
Burning Man, where they have those, that kind of an event. And where people just, I don't know if it's the music, but there's definitely a community of people that get along. And it's not like going to a regular dance club for sure.
Yeah,
I agree.
all the way back to Woodstock, right? I mean, music's always brought people together.
It has, yeah.
And it's funny. I'm from the vanilla bar and nightclub scene also, and it's funny. You can't walk into a bar and say, a guy can't walk into a bar and walk up to a married woman or a girlfriend of his friend and say, "Man, you look super hot today."
Oh,
It would be a fight, right?
Yeah.
And in
Right.
a lifestyle, you can say that, and within some basic respectfulness constraints, you can say pretty much anything, you know,
Yeah.
and it's a compliment. It's how it should be.
It is how it should be. Gosh darn it. I mean, we should be honest.
Thanks, guys, for being here today. Where do our viewers find you, or listeners find you, if they want to find one of your parties or events?
dirtyvibes.com or desirousparty.com.
Okay.
Yep.
So everything on Desirous Party will also be on Dirty Vibes. So, you know, if you ever have a question, you know, look there. Desirous Party has 18 years worth of forum topics going back to the first Halloween. So the Q&As, you know, you can just click and you want to find out Q&A, you want to watch videos. I think there's 12 or 13 years worth of videos on there from past parties.
And then we do co-promote some parties together at the Collect Clubs, and we've got some of those coming up next year too. So be sure and check out collectclubs.com to find out when Desirous Parties is going to be there.
I think November 26th.
That's right. Run right around the corner. You can come out and meet Dave and Alex at that time. And then also please sign up for our email list at openlove101.com. We'll send you updates on our blogs, podcasts, and any other special things we have going on. So openlove101.com. Check out our email list there. Thanks for joining us. See ya.
See ya.
So did you like that video? Then be sure and click on that subscribe button below, and you'll be guaranteed great sex the rest of your life.